Hi, I'm Luke, and today I'm going to take you through the process of building a basic website with Weebly. Weebly is a free browser-based tool that anyone can use to build a great-looking site. This is a what you see is what you get kind of tool, or a WYSIWYG for short. That means you don't have to know how to code in order to build something nice. Let's get started. For this tutorial, we're going to create a simple portfolio website that will display the work of a fictional photographer. We're going to call it Faraway Photography, and this is what it's going to look like when we're done. Once you're at the Weebly homepage, the first thing you're going to need to do is create an account. Enter your information, and then sign up. We are not making an online store, so select I just need a website. Here, we have a set of template themes to choose from. Most of these themes would work just fine, but I'm going to select one with a large image that covers the entire page. We can preview the theme, and if we like it, we can start editing. Now we need to select our domain name. I'd like the name of this site to be called Faraway Photos. For this tutorial, we're going to use a free subdomain. A subdomain is part of a larger domain. For us, this means that our website address will include weebly.com in it. So our final web address will be farawayphotos.weebly.com. Choose this name at the bottom, and then select Done. Now we are in the editor. The main workspace is where we see what our site will look like. Here's the top bar, and over here we have the build elements. These are the things we're going to use to build our sites. For this sample project, we only want 2 pages, but this template gave us 4. So we need to delete 2 of them. To do this, go to Pages and first select the About page. To delete it, simply select Delete and confirm. Do the same for the Contact page. Let's begin our editing back on the home page. Select Build to make our elements available. When we scroll down, we can see that this template has a lot of content that we don't want. We want a very simple and elegant site, so let's start deleting everything below the main image. To delete an element, hover your mouse over it and look for the X in its upper right corner. Click it and confirm Delete. Weebly will then take a moment to reload. Do the same for the next element. Okay, let's stop right here. It's going to take a long time to delete all these elements one by one. Fortunately, there's an easier way. When we scroll down, we can see that this page is divided up into different sections. If you click inside a section, but not on a specific element, you can delete the entire thing. Let's quickly delete all the sections beneath this main image. Now we are ready to start replacing this content with our own. First, let's change the template text to our site name, Faraway Photography. And we'll change its color to white. We'll now want to upload our own image as the background. To do this, we simply need to click on the background outside of any element already on the page, select Edit Background, select Replace, and then choose an image to upload. drag the image to position it, and then save. Now we've got a nice image that works for our homepage. Up here we have our site title. We could also change this text to Faraway Photography, but I think this would be redundant. A website should never have more text than is absolutely necessary, so I'm just going to turn it off. We want to have 2 pages for our site. The first is this homepage. The other one will be a fictional portfolio of photography work, which we'll edit later. I'd like a link on this work page under our main title. I could add some text that says, "Click here to see my work," and then link it to the other page of our site. However, in website design, we should try to show instead of tell. Using a button communicates the idea of a link without having to type it all out. Buttons can be edited to best match your style and can be linked to your other pages, or even to outside websites. I'd like the button to be aligned with the right side of the title text, but you'll notice it can't be dragged. To move things around, we're going to have to use spacers. Drag a spacer into the workspace and carefully use the blue lines to place it. You can grab the little bar in between elements and drag it to reposition them. To place it with more precision, hold down the Shift key to disable the grid. Alright, now we have our homepage laid out the way we want it. However, we need to give our text, buttons, and navigation menu a more unified look. Our title is a serif font, and serif fonts are generally used to communicate tradition. We'd like something a bit more modern and friendly. So let's go into Theme and select Change Fonts. Mouse over the options until the one you want to change is highlighted and select it. I'd like to change the font to Source Sans Pro. It's modern, clean, and friendly. Let's also change our navigation menu to the same thing. Then, to keep things consistent, we'll deselect the uppercase option. Finally, we'll change our button as well. I think this button should also be a bit larger. Fortunately, this is also the place where we can increase its size. Now let's go back to the Build menu, move that button back to the left, and let's also push it down a bit. Alright, now is a good time to preview our site and see what it looks like outside of the editor. To do this, we're going to publish it, and then click on the link it gives us. This will open the site in a new tab and show us what it's going to look like to visitors. Now, let's go to the My Work page and add our own content. To make things simple, I'm going to change our header type to no header. This will make it cleaner. Now I'll delete the entire section just like we did before, which will leave us with a totally blank page. Open the Build menu and we'll add the title Faraway Photography to the top of the page. And let's make it nice and big. We'll also add a divider to give it some visual separation from the rest of the content that we're going to put underneath it. Bring in 2 title elements to correspond to the 2 bodies of work we're going to display: Weddings and Moments. Center justify them and then add another divider between them. Since all these are in the original serif font, we need to change them to our new font. Go back to Themes and select Paragraph Titles to change the fonts to our modern and friendly Source Sans Pro. Change the weight to regular to make it more consistent with the rest of the site. Okay, back to the Build menu. Now let's add some images. For this tutorial, I downloaded a number of royalty-free photos to stand in for our fictional photographer's work. When we place one of them, notice that it takes up the entire width of the page. Placing a second image to the side will shrink them both to fit the width of the page. Now we can see that there's a problem. The images are not the same size, so they don't line up. For this part of the page, we want our set of wedding photographs to be clean and neatly arranged. Before making this site, we could have gone through all our photos with an external image editor and changed the size and dimensions of each one, but that would take a lot of time. Instead, we can use the build element of a gallery. Now we can bulk upload all our wedding photos, and Weebly will resize them for us. Clicking once anywhere in the gallery will open the settings, and here we can change the way the images are displayed. Clicking on a specific image will give you some options for that image's behaviors. You can also rearrange the images by dragging them. For our Moments section, let's experiment with arranging the images in a more free-form way. To do this, we'll need to drag our image elements and upload them one at a time. We can then experiment with rearranging them by grabbing the small handle and using the blue placement lines to carefully position them. You can use spacers to add some negative space in between the images. You can also roughly resize them by grabbing the small blue box in the bottom right corner. You can arrange your images in whatever way seems best. Well, now it's time to publish and preview. If you're happy with your site, then you're done. Now you can share your new photography collection with the world by giving the URL address to everyone you know. Thanks for building a website with me today. I hope you enjoyed learning how to use a new tool. I look forward to seeing what you can do in the future with your new design abilities.